Russian jets accidentally bomb U.S.-backed forces in Syria. A U.S. general said on Wednesday that Russian and Syrian regime forces accidentally bombed U.S.-backed forces. The incident took place southeast of the city of al-Bab in Syria. A U.S. general said Islamic State fighters withdrew from the villages before U.S.-backed Syrian Arab Coalition fighters advanced. The Russian and Syrian regime aircraft may have mistaken the Syrian Arab Coalition fighters for jihadists and launched airstrikes. The general did not comment on the casualties caused by the airstrikes. Meanwhile, Russia has denied any involvement in the bombing.
Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
Here are some other stories about Russian military intervention in Syria.
Russia to deploy missile systems to Syria near Turkish border. Russia announced on Wednesday that it would deploy anti-aircraft missiles in Syria near the Turkish border, a day after Turkey shot down its military jet. Russia said it will deploy to northern Syria S-400 defense missiles, a medium to long-range mobile surface-to-air missile system, also known as the SA-21 Growler. The weapons will be deployed at the Humeyman Air Base less than 30 miles from the Turkish border. The missiles have a known range of 155 miles and a possible range of 250 miles, meaning they can hit targets in southern Turkey. The S-400 can be equipped with multiple missile variants and can shoot down stealth aircraft, unmanned aerial vehicles, cruise missiles, and sub-strategic ballistic missiles. It can also engage up to 36 targets simultaneously. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said the incident looks very much like a planned provocation, while Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan claims it was a violation of Turkey's sovereignty. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. U.S. and Russia agree to begin ceasefire in Syria by Friday. Russia and the United States have announced a planned cessation of hostilities in Syria by the end of the week. On February 22nd, Russia and the U.S. agreed to a truce that will come into effect at midnight on February 27th to end the 5-year-old civil war in Syria. However, the truce does not apply to the so-called Islamic State and al-Qaeda-linked Nusra Front. Syrian rebels said they will accept the truce once the siege is lifted, attacks on civilians are stopped, prisoners are released, and aid is provided. However, the rebels said they could be targeted by the government and its allies under the pretext of targeting Nusra because it is impossible to pinpoint positions held by the terror group. The U.S. and Russia will establish a communications hotline to monitor ceasefire violations. The Syrian government and the armed opposition will have until February 26 to indicate whether they will comply with the ceasefire.
Russia sends huge military transport planes to Syria. The U.S. has voiced concern in the wake of reports that Russia is boosting military support to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's regime. 2 Russian Antonov 124 Condor planes and a passenger plane have landed at the airport at Latakia in Syria over the past few days, U.S. officials told AFP on the condition of anonymity. The Russians have set up modular housing units for hundreds of people and portable air traffic control equipment at the airport, an official said. On Tuesday, NATO member Bulgaria said it had refused an unspecified number of Russian flights permission to enter its airspace. But according to reports in Russian media, Greece and Iran have granted Russia permission to use their airspace to deliver humanitarian aid to Syria. Syria has denied reports of an increased Russian military presence in the country. Russia expands its military presence in Syria. Russia is building up its military presence in Syria and its support for the Assad regime. Moscow has dispatched more than 24 combat aircraft and helicopters to its airbase south of the Syrian city of Latakia, as well as tanks, air defense systems, armored personnel carriers, artillery guns, and 2,000 personnel, including aircraft crews, engineers, and troops. Unarmed Russian drones have also reportedly started flying surveillance missions. Satellite images have shown the development of weapons depot and military facilities at 2 new places, one 4 miles north of Latakia and one 2 miles west of that. The addition of the new facilities suggests that Russia is planning on stationing troops in both places. The satellite photos, obtained by IHS Janes, were taken in mid-September. White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest said Russia's intentions in Syria are still unclear.